I'm Rick Kaler. Thanks for joining me. Imagine for a moment that you and the love of your life are young, starry-eyed, and newly engaged. Someone asks, "Do you plan to get a prenup?" You would likely stare at them in stunned disbelief and say something like, "Are you kidding? Of course not. We don't have anything to split up. Besides, if we wanted to plan for a divorce before we even get married, we shouldn't be marrying in the first place." A prenup, which is short for a prenuptial agreement, is a written contract signed by partners before they marry. It is the financial game plan they agreed to follow in the unlikely event the marriage fails, outlining how they will divide their assets, their debts, financial responsibilities in the event of a divorce or a legal separation. While often associated with protecting significant assets, prenups can benefit any couple regardless of income level. Now, that might be surprising to you. For most younger couples with no previous marriages, a written prenup is probably unnecessary. What is essential, though, is having open and honest pre-wedding conversations about both partners' personal finances and their attitudes about money, something that's not often discussed. Just considering a prenup can be one way to frame and begin those conversations. Now, like I said, it's just so unfortunate that too many couples fail to have open and honest money discussions prior to marriage. I mean, it's not romantic, is it? Many of them eventually regret this mistake, and that's according to a study discussed in NerdWallet, an article entitled 54% of Engaged Americans Disagree with Partner on Financial Goals. It appeared September 19th of 2023. It says, and I quote, 3 in 5 married Americans, that's 60%, say there are financial topics they didn't discuss but wished they had before getting married. This could be because more than half of married Americans, that's 53%, say they have found it difficult to have a serious financial conversation with their spouse, end quote. The study also found that 54% of engaged Americans' partners disagree on their financial goals, while 26% regularly argue about money. Fewer than 8% of couples discuss life insurance and wills before marriage. The reasons for failing to have prenuptial money conversations are really emotional rather than financial. They're likely to include fear of conflict, shame over revealing debt, or past money mistakes. The topic, especially if raised in context of a formal prenup, may bring up thoughts and feelings around insecurity, a lack of trust, hurt, resentment, anxiety over the future, and a perception of money being more important than love. Different cultural and family expectations and beliefs around money can also factor in. For all these reasons, it may be valuable to have these conversations with the support of a counselor or a neutral third party. I would also encourage focusing on the positive outcome that can result from having a deep, transparent discussion around money. Now, some of those long-term benefits for a couple can include clarity and security, knowing the truth about each other's finances and their philosophies can offer some peace of mind and a sense of control. Transparency and communication, openly discussing finances and expectations, can strengthen trust between partners and establish a pattern for continual, clear communication in the relationship. And fairness and protection. Both partners may feel protected by considering the assets that both bring to the partnership and how those might be dealt with fairly during the marriage, not only in the event of a divorce. Exploring whether a formal prenup is necessary doesn't equate to assuming that a couple should have one. The whole point here is having open and honest conversations that help build emotional and financial intimacy. When partners are courageous enough to discuss money in this way with a focus on love and solidifying their commitment to each other, they build a foundation that will help their coupleship thrive, both financially and emotionally. Thanks for listening.